Hey, good morning, Pete, North Las Vegas. I drug this out of the safe today. Purchased this carbine back in late '94, right after the assault weapons ban. So I got kind of curious about what the barrel might look like, and I'm going to use my test long borescope. It's probably got over 5,000 rounds through it. I used to let my daughter shoot this when she turned about 13 or 14, and not this year, but next year she's going to turn 40. So that'll give you kind of an idea of how old this carbine is. Might give you some idea as to how old I am. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about was the upper is what was called a Colt conversion. And back then on conversions, Colt would stamp their name and the caliber. So the Colt conversion was available in 223, 7.62 by 39, and 9mm. And even though they stamped this 223, if we go out here and I'll get this in the sunlight real quick. If you look at the barrel, I don't know how well the camera's picking it up. The barrel's actually chambered for 5.56, 1 and 9 twist HBAR, and this is a 16-inch barrel. So anyway, I kind of thought before we get into the borescope, I'd talk a little bit more about the rifle and how it came to be. Like I said, I bought this right after the assault weapons ban started in '94, and you could still get all the deadly features because this conversion was considered spare parts, which did not fall under the assault weapons ban unless you took the spare parts and put it on a newer lower. So if you bought a lower after the assault weapons ban, and then you bought this conversion after the assault weapons ban, and you put these two together, now you got a problem, according to the feds. But if you had an older receiver that you owned prior to the assault weapons ban, then you could buy the newer, fully featured flash suppressor, bayonet lug, and whatever, and put that on top of your receiver, and you were okay. All right, so I'm not going to get knee deep into all the little ins and outs of the assault weapon ban back in '94. But anyway, I purchased this, and then I purchased this after the assault weapons ban went into effect. And this is a Bushmaster. It's not the Remmaster or the Bushington. This is the original Bushmaster that was made up in Windham, Maine. And if you know a little bit about the history of Bushmaster, what happened was Richard Dyke sold the company to the Freedom's Arm Group, which was basically Remington. And that's why the newer Bushmasters are called Remmasters or Bushingtons. It's, you know, a play on words. After Richard Dyke sold the Bushmaster company and it went to Remington, I don't think he was counting on them moving the manufacturing to New York. But that's one of the first things that Remington did, was they moved Bushmaster down to New York. When that happened, the quality of Bushmaster started to go downhill. And then they ended up moving down to Alabama, and I think they were just starting to get kind of get their quality back up to where it was respectable. But as we all know, Freedom's Arm Group is no more. But anyway, yeah, so this is the original, true, verifiable, certifiable Bushmaster. And also Bushmaster back in the 90s had a military contract to produce M16s. So in my opinion, Bushmaster was right up there with Colt quality, maybe in some ways even better. But like I said, that all changed when Freedom Arms Group bought Bushmaster. Anyway, Richard Dyke waited for his 5-year non-compete to expire, and then he went back into business, building AR-15s back up in Windham, Maine, and renamed the company Windham Weaponry. So the Windham Weaponry that you buy now is the old Bushmaster. I know. Okay, so in the first video clip, I said that I bought the upper during the assault weapons ban, and it was considered spare parts. And then I said I also bought this lower receiver after the assault weapons ban went into effect. So you might be wondering, did I take that upper and put it on this lower during the assault weapons ban? Okay, so during the assault weapons ban, this was one of the features that they banned. You couldn't have a telescoping or collapsible stock. Now, you can see here that this looks dangerous enough just the way it is. But watch me turn this rifle into just an unbelievable assault weapon. Watch me make this rifle just so much more dangerous. Here we go. Woo-wee. Now that rifle is just way more dangerous. Okay, so this is the old original aluminum style 3-position. 1, 2, 3. And that's aluminum, like the way they used to be. This is not a castle nut. This is a spanner. And I can't remember when that changed. I think that was an M4 thing. When they went to the M4, they changed the nut over from the spanner to the castle nut. Okay, so we're going to break this rifle apart, talk about it a little bit more, and then I'm going to do the bore scope. Okay, so back when you bought the conversion from Colt, what you got was their sear block bolt carrier group. And you can see where they pretty much cut about half of the back of the bolt away. And that's because when they sold these conversions, they didn't know what you were going to put this on top of. If you were going to put this on top of one of their lower receivers, a Colt lower receiver at the time, it had what was called a sear block in here. And this bolt was designed to slide over that sear block so that it would function. And I've done a couple videos on the sear block. I do have another Colt that has the sear block and the large pin trigger group. So that's the story on this bolt carrier. Okay, everything else, because this is a Bushmaster lower, is mil spec pins. Everything is mil spec. It has the lower shelf. So I think we're ready for the bore scope. Okay, so the barrel looks really good, except for that gas port. It's got some cracking and checking till you get out about an inch or so, and then it smooths out. But yeah, so that's about, like I was saying, about 5,000 rounds. And I'll post the video off the monitor here, the test long, and it should be a little bit sharper picture. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised. Overall, the barrel looks really good. All the rifling and the lands, the grooves, everything's fine. Just kind of some erosion around the gas port. Okay, so the gas port's looking a little crusty. When I got towards the chamber, there's also some, looks like some heat checking. That, I'm not quite sure. This looks like a machining imperfection. And I can't tell. I think that's just a chrome. Chrome's kind of checked and cracked here. The barrel itself is still good. You can start to see where there's some stuff going on here as I get towards the chamber, the throat. A lot of that's just some leftover carbon from not doing a great job of cleaning. But okay, we're in the chamber now. There's the edge of the chamber where so anyway, I'm not gonna show the. Okay, so I think the barrel has seen better days. It's nowhere near wore out, and so long as it's still relatively accurate, I'm not going to worry about it. Like I said, it's got about 5,000 rounds through it, so that's probably good for another at least 5,000. But there's definitely some signs that the rifle's been shot. All right, Pete, North Las Vegas, over and out.